viewers of The Pioneer, how are you doing? I hope you're healthy and well. As the Pioneer team, we continue to convey the developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. As we have often reported on in our previous reports, the strong resistance of the Ukrainian army causes the Russian army to suffer heavy losses. Among these losses are senior Russian commanders. We have shared with you in our previous reports. Recently, a soldier serving in the Ukrainian army has carried out a very successful operation. Moreover, the Ukrainian soldier carried out this operation alone. The only problem for the Russian army on the front line is not the attacks organized by the Ukrainian army. The heavy losses suffered by the Russian armed forces have caused major problems for all members of the army. Moreover, the behavior of the soldiers of the Russian armed forces towards the soldiers of different nationalities serving in the Russian army is causing new problems. According to the allegations, a new military revolt is quite close. So what are the latest developments? Let's take a look at the developments together. As the Pioneer team, we continue to bring the Russia-Ukraine war to your screens. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so as not to miss our daily map reports and reports on the agenda. I also read all your comments on our videos. Please continue to express your opinions about our content in the comments. Thank you for your nice comments. Let's start if you're ready, the Pioneer reports. Let's start our report by analyzing the successful operations carried out by the Ukrainian soldiers. This operation allegedly took place in the vicinity of Avdiivka on the Donetsk front line. We often mention this in our map reports. Russian armed forces are trying to destroy the defense line of the Ukrainian army on the Donetsk front line. Despite all the efforts, this defense line has not been damaged so far. The Ukrainian defense forces continue to defend their positions to a large extent. One of the Ukrainian units defending Ukrainian positions in the region is 79th Tavria Separate Air Assault Brigade. The 79th Tavria Separate Air Assault Brigade performs a very critical task for the Ukrainian army. In recent days, the Russian armed forces have also launched a large-scale operations in the area where this unit is located. Russian armed vehicles and the Russian artillery units were trying to break through the Ukrainian defense line in the area where this bridge was located. According to the reports, 5 Russian armored vehicles simultaneously moved towards the positions of Tavria operational strategic groups. Troops in the area fired anti-tank shells in 4 approaching Russian armored vehicles. In the statement made by the group, it was shared that the Russian attack was responded with the following statement. Our heroic soldiers responded bravely and with high military skill against the daring enemy forces trying to break through our defense line. Images of the operation were also shared on social media. The footage shows Ukrainian paratroopers from the 79th Tavria Separate Air Defense Brigade responding to the Russian army's attack. However, there is a name that draws attention here. The name is Junior Sergeant Andrei G., who serves in the Tavria Brigade, and the Ukrainian Armed Forces sources also report that the sergeant was prominent in the operation in question. The statements of the sources of the Ukrainian Armed Forces on the subject are as follows. In this battle, Junior Sergeant Andrei J. and anti-tank gunner of one of the brigade's units stood out especially. With the accurate shots of the Javelin anti-tank missile system, he destroyed 4 armored vehicles and prevented the enemy's attacks. With the intervention of the Sergeant Andrei G., the vehicle of the Russian army were left burning in the field. Almost all of the infantry units advancing with armored vehicles were also destroyed. American-made Javelins, which are portable anti-tank missile systems, have a very critical role on the front line. Thanks to the Javelin provided by United States in the early days of the occupation, the Ukrainian army destroyed armored vehicles and tanks of the Russian army many times. In the images shared about the operation of Tavria, paratroopers of the Ukrainian armed forces, it is seen that the armored vehicles of the Russian army were destroyed. According to reports from the Ukrainian Armed Forces, paratroopers of the 79th Air Assault Brigade destroyed or damaged approximately 29 Russian combat vehicles during the war. On the other hand, it is also reported that the paratroopers of the 79th Air Assault Brigade destroyed more than 200 Russian soldiers. According to the Ukrainian Armed Forces sources, 22 Russian armored vehicles were destroyed by the Sergeant Andrei G. himself. Another remarkable claim is related to the developments within the Russian army. As you know, the Russian armed forces are struggling with very complex problems. Russian soldiers were quite worn out due to the difficult battles. In addition, foreign soldiers serving in the Russian army are also subjected to the mobbing by the Russian soldiers within the Russian armed forces. This issue has recently emerged in a report. Serbian sniper Dejan Baric shared a video on social media the other day. In the video, Baric confessed to the developments in the Russian army. In Baric's video, the treatments of the mercenaries serving on the separate units called Wolf in the Russia's 119th Paratroops and Air Regiment was mentioned. According to the Baric, the regiment's command insulted Serbian soldiers by calling them gypsies. At the same time, according to the Baric, Russian commanders and the Russian soldiers treat soldiers of the foreign nationalities like cattle. At the same time, there is another remarkable detail. According to the reports, Serbian mercenaries serving in the Russian army were not provided with any equipment. These soldiers even paid for the equipment they would use on the front line with their own money. Baric makes the following statements about this issue. Serbian soldiers were ordered to attack Ukrainian positions with insufficient equipment. They were told to seize the missing equipment from the Ukrainian positions. The leader of the Serbian mercenary groups asked to be transferred to other areas. However, after this request, Serbian soldiers were declared deserted and criminals. These soldiers were expelled from the bunkers. For several days, these Serb soldiers were left without food and water. Then, they were made to sign a false statement. In the past few days, the military police came to them, entered the bunker, shot in the air, beat the soldiers with a stock, and broke the heads of some of them. An appeal was made to the Chechen leaders' administrators to transfer the Serbs to Ahmed detachment, but it was refused. The problems within the Russian armed forces are apparently increasing day by day. Russian soldiers in the Russian army have been trained with the ideas of great nationalisms. Allegedly, ethnically, Russian soldiers are Serbian soldiers and people of other nationalities as inferior. Obviously, Russian soldiers are racist against soldiers of the other nationalities. In the coming days, this could lead to a bigger problem. The Russian army can be further resolved with this crisis experienced. What do you think? Do you think the operations carried out by the Tavria group affected the Russian army? How do you think the loss of the armored vehicles of the Russian army will affect the front line? Do you think Serbian soldiers are racist? How will the situation lead to the developments on the front line? Let me know in the comments. You know that I read and I care about all your comments.